There's your 29 and a half days. The last 10 days, I'm going to pull this out, and now you can begin to look at it and just study. It's real easy to understand now. Here it is. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to lift this up, and you can look at that timeline, and that's the fifth way. That's the fifth way we know there's a month. There it is. So you just turn back a couple pages into the end of Daniel. Daniel tells you how it starts. But imagine that Daniel just continues to be the book called Hosea. You just keep reading, and then you learn, well, the next thing is 2 days, 3.5 and 2, and then you just keep reading deeper into a longer Daniel. If it was a long book, and you'd find out they're gone into captivity on the Sabbath and Pentecost. There it is. You can't argue with it. Not anymore. This is making it plain. There's Daniel. So let's just read Daniel 12 and verse 4. When the book is unsealed, the first thing that happens in the time of the end, the moment that Daniel is unsealed, here's what it says. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book to the time of the end, and knowledge shall be increased. Then Daniel looked, and the 2 witnesses are with him on either side of the river, and they ask at the end of verse 6, how long to the end of these wonders? Well, verses 2 and 3 had the resurrection of all the saints. The saints are all there. All mankind is still a month away. Now a month away. So they all came up, and the saints are hearing, and here's what it says. The whole world, 8 billion people are hearing. How long to the end of these wonders? Verse 7. It's Elijah there talking to Daniel. He held up his right hand in the middle of the verse to heaven and swore by him that lives forever that it shall be to a time and times and a half, a moed, moeds, and a moed, 3½ days, when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. All these things will be finished. Now I want to be exact. It's exactly 3½ days from a dawn. Got it? You know it's a dawn. So if you're going to make this 30 days, you'd put another little thing over here that says half a 1 day. Then 3½ days from a dawn. Peter says, when the day dawned, look out for false teachers, because they're about 3½ days away. We got a lot more to learn here. Then you got 2 days where God withdraws and tears Israel, and about 10% respond. Maybe 35 to 70 million, depending upon how you count today's population of Israelite nations. Some of them aren't Israelite, but that's probably what you do. 30. And then you got the Sabbath, and you got Pentecost, 2 more days, and 24 days. 10 days of tribulation is simply what the saints face, because the saints are going to be working for 20 days, unimpeded essentially. Persecutions, yes, but unimpeded, reaching 8 billion people. And then God will see who merits a getaway, so that they are pampered while the last 3½ days, the rest of the saints are being killed, and really over the period of 10 days. So this is 24 days. Pretty fair when you consider it matches up against 1 month later in the Great Tribulation. This is the affliction before the great affliction. This is the affliction before those days when God set all men, everyone against his neighbor, when Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Micah said, don't trust anybody, but 1/3 come out gold and silver. This is the affliction or the tribulation before the great tribulation. It is great tribulation for the saints, and it's even called that in Revelation. Daniel's confused. What's this about? Now, if the 3½ days ended with the kingdom of God, how come Daniel was confused? He asks in verse 8, I heard, but I understood not. Then said, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? What happens? If it was the end of the age, then Daniel, here would be the answer. You're going to look like me, God would say. But that's not what's next. What's next is God withdraws and the power of the holy people is stopped. There has to be a kingdom. There has to be a restitution That's how long it lasts. 3.5 days of the Word, from Sunday dawn to Wednesday evening. That's God's number, 3.5 days. Okay, is the Word short? Yes. Is it speedy? Think of Romans 9. Yes. Is it concise? Yes. Malachi called it a swift witness. And then it's quiet. And you read the rest of Hosea, and their king and all the kings that work with them are as quiet as foam on water. And then God says, now what are you going to do with that? As this hour of trial descends on all those that dwell on the face of the whole earth.